Welcome everybody to our Wednesday night Team Fearless call. I'm excited to have everybody here tonight. We have some exciting things happening. So the first thing for announcements is I want to announce, if you haven't got on a Team Cup, get with your upline coach and have them help you find a team to get on a Team Cup. The second thing is I am doing a last minute opportunity webinar tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll post the link in Team Fearless. If you guys want to send that to anybody that you have, or you want to jump on and listen, I'll do that. And then, of course, there'll be a recording. Okay, so the next announcement, we haven't planned this out. So how are we going to do this?
Sorry, my internet is all messed up. But yeah, we had last fall, we got together when to celebrate my Star Diamond, achieving that rank. We got together for dinner and we started talking about some really exciting plans, and we have finalized those plans and we are ready to share those plans with you guys. I'm going to let Ashley tell you because she is the godmother of this whole team, so I think it's up to her.
No, we are the same level, but okay, so we are announcing we will be hosting our first Team Fearless Ignite Your Life Tribe Diamond Retreat in Arizona, in Sedona. It will be at the end of September. We're looking at 2 dates right now, and we'll have that finalized in the next few weeks or so. And we'll let you guys know. But it'll be at the end of that month, and we will give you guys all of the fun details once we have them together. But for now, I want you guys to know what your requirements are. You guys are your requirements are to hit Diamond by, hold on, I'm looking at my notes, May 19th. So that should be your goal. If you hit Diamond by May 19th, then you will be invited to stay with us. The only thing that you will have to pay for are your travel accommodations to get there. Otherwise, everything is going to be provided by us, and we are going to have an amazing weekend. And now that I've announced that, the next thing is we are going to be doing a Push to Diamond group starting on February 1st. So if you want to get to that Diamond Retreat, then you need to get in this group. There's a few things that you need to know. You must be Emerald. And I'll do a post about this, but I'm going to go through it real quick so we are not holding Jamie up. But you must be Emeralds to get into the group. You need to send either myself or Sam what workout program you're doing, what you have on Home Direct, why you want to be a part of the group, and how many hours you're willing to commit to your business each week. So those are the announcements. I will post it all again in the group. But now I'm excited to turn it over to Jamie. She is another leader from Team Dynamo, and we connected a lot when we went to our Diamond Retreat in Austin, which was so much fun. And I'm excited to hear what she has to share with us. So it's all you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ashley. And yes, and I had the pleasure of getting to meet both Ashley and Sam in person. It was so awesome to actually get to see their faces and touch their bodies and realize they were real. It was one of the most surreal moments of my life was walking into that house. It was like, I likened it to going on a first date with like your soulmate, because you know so much about this person already, but there's so much more you have to learn. Like you kind of just know the top layer and you really want to just dive into them. But work hard, get to that Diamond Retreat, because it is a life changer and a business changer. It's kind of like Summit. It's like it connects you with people and all of a sudden you're just like, okay, this is real. So what I wanted to share with you guys tonight is just a little bit about my story. I apologize. I look completely a mess. Little guy has the worst case of diaper rash ever tonight. And so I was bathing him and like preparing him for bed right before I jumped on. But I want to share about my story and some of my tips and the things that I have learned over the almost 2 years that I've been a coach, and just hopefully something will click for you, something that you may walk away with and be like, oh, I can put that into use, or just something clicks, because seriously, it's just like one night it'll just click and something will be completely different from that moment forward. So I'm going to share my screen because I put together a little PowerPoint for you. And all right, can you see my screen? Okay, great. All right, so I have my group, or my page is called Get Fit Live Well with Jamie G, so you'll see that around. But as I mentioned, I wanted to share my story, and my story really, my new chapter, my new why is this little dude. He was born April 24th last year, so he's coming up on 9 months this week, and it just kind of blows my mind how much things have changed in my world, not only for me as a human, but as my role and my mission in life now. And so I'm going to start kind of back at square one and how I even got here today. And it really started in April 2014, and that was just the beginning of my Beachbody journey, and it goes back even further. So I lost my sister in an accident in 2009, and at that point my world just kind of turned on its head. And I knew for me to get out of the funk and deal with my grief and my pain, I needed to do something. So I dove into CrossFit. It was new into my small town. I jumped into it. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I did it for 2 years, and then I hurt my back. And that was the start for me of a deep, dark spiral to the point where I was in March of 2014. In that 5 years, I struggled with agonizing back pain. I was to the point where I didn't even know how I would ever carry a baby through pregnancy, and much less care for a child with this kind of back pain. Like, I couldn't even wash my face over the sink. It was so bad. And so I had gained a lot of weight. I was up to my highest weight, and I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I had an amazing man in my life, and he made me feel beautiful and wonderful. But deep down, I knew that I wasn't feeling good because I was not being physically active, because I physically hurt. And so I threw out a prayer, and I just said, I need an answer. Something has to change. And that was when on my Facebook feed, of course, that's how it happens, right? Someone started popping up, and all of a sudden I started seeing all these little things of, Leanne's, who from Team Dynamo, her posts about challenge groups. And so I inquired about one of them, and I chickened out and said, no, I just don't have the money. It was, I think, Body Beast or something. So it meant bodying all this equipment. And I was just like, I can't do that. It just scared me. So I backed away, and 8 weeks later or so, she posted another one, and she was doing combat. And I was like, well, I can do that. It doesn't have any equipment. And so I dove in. Well, it turns out I was wickedly allergic to Shakeology. So I freaked out and was going to send it all back because it just wasn't going to work for me. And, she and I talked and figured it out, but I continued doing combat and enjoyed it, but wasn't really clicking with it. And so then she posted about her next opportunity of Golden Egg. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I, inquired on it, and it was building a business. And so I kind of poked around and kind of did some research and started talking to her a little bit, and decided, well, what the heck, go for it. At least the accountability will be good for me, right? And so I purchased T25 with my challenge pack to become a coach. And that was my soulmate workout. Like, that clicked. 25-minute workouts, doing it every day. I made the decision at that point that I was going to do this, and I didn't want to live like I was. I was going to commit, and I was going to try and see results. So I started moving every day, did my, at least 4 times a week, I did my T25. I started eating better. I started feeding my body. I started changing my head. At the time that I started doing all this, we were remodeling our house. We were planning for our wedding, and it was happening in August, and this was early May. And I was, trying to just live a life here in this. Oh, and we were also acclimating ourselves to our 8-acre farm that we had just bought. So life was pretty crazy. And I just started doing little bits every day to help myself feel better. And along with that, I started sharing my story. And I would do my daily posts. People started commenting on them, and people started saying, oh, I'm watching, you're doing great, keep going, keep going. And so I started noticing that my body was changing, but more than anything, my confidence was changing. And I was growing in that area, and I was doing my personal development inconsistently, honestly, but I was doing it. And it was still way more than I was doing, back in March when I was feeling broken and I was feeling depressed and I was feeling fat and I was feeling just all this stuff, overwhelmed with the remodel. And I just kept doing it every day. And so then we got married and I felt beautiful. I had lost 20 pounds at this point. Vegan Shakeology came out with the new formula and I was no longer allergic to it. It was epic. So I was drinking my Shakeology every day and I just felt awesome. Well, fast forward 2 weeks and we found out we were expecting our little guy. And I made the decision right then and there that I was going to have a fit pregnancy because I needed that for me, because I was terrified of going back to that person I was in March. And I was terrified of that back pain knocking on my door again. And so I started moving and didn't stop moving. And I think I did 225 up to like 38 weeks or something. Now, granted, it was not jumping around, it was, just doing my steps, but I didn't stop doing my workouts and I didn't stop posting about my workouts. And for me, it was the best thing I ever could have done because it kept me strong and it kept me healthy and it kept me focused. And I can tell you the day that I gave birth to my son, my why changed. And it was no longer about me. It was no longer about debt. It was no longer about, this idea, I guess, of success in this business. But it was about me having freedom to be part of his life and to be the mom that he deserves to have in his world. And so I went home and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. I'm totally going to, head home and I'm going to work out in 4 weeks and I'm going to hit 21-day fix and I'm going to do max 30 and then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And if my internet cuts out, let me know because it's getting that weird unstable sign. But I just decided that I was going to move again. And I had no idea what I was in for. So I got home, little dude had colic. He didn't like going to sleep. He cried all the time. It was so hard. I was exhausted. I had gained 40 pounds while I was pregnant and I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was healthy. I knew it was necessary for me to gain the weight for him to have a healthy pregnancy, but I still came out of that with this complete reset of who I was. And I just slowly started walking again and started working out slowly and realized I was pushing myself too hard. So I had to back off for a few more weeks. And roughly about 6 weeks, I started moving again. I started doing 21-day fix. It sucked. After 6 weeks of doing nothing, it sucked. But I knew I had to start over, but I knew where I had been and I knew I could get there again. So I just kept moving. And my journey back resulted in me being my most fit self ever, feeling amazing in my skin, feeling confident as a woman, feeling like I had control of my life. And I know you guys hear this a lot, but it's the whole saying of, if I had never made $1 in this business, it would be worth everything that I have gained to this point. And I am definitely, still in the early stages of my business, but what I have earned in my physical fitness and my ability to live a healthy lifestyle has been tenfold what I ever imagined it could be. So in my journey back from pregnancy to being who I am today, I have identified that my goal is really to help moms feel healthy and strong and beautiful and sexy in their post-baby bodies. And recently that's also changed to being able to build a business for themselves so that they can be financially secure in their lives and have the freedom to be with their little ones and not have to worry about how they're going to pay for things or how they're going to, do the job and be a mom and, still be flexible in their world. So that is where my journey has brought me to today. And it's been kind of a wild one. I look at this picture on the left of me. That was the first photo my husband ever took of me. That was my before photo. And I look at that woman and I think she's so insecure and she's so just looking for the answer. And the next one was me after T25 and just feeling confident and beautiful and about to get married. me at 38 weeks. Actually, that was the day before I gave birth, and, you know, just feeling strong and happy and excited to start the new chapter of life. And then this one was just a few months ago, after I had finished my first round of Max 30. And I share those because it is possible, and you can do it. If you commit to something, you can achieve anything in life. So don't ever shortchange yourself. Always be your biggest competitor, and always push yourself a little bit further today than you did yesterday, because that consistency and that push is what makes you successful. So when I started thinking about kind of my journey, I started thinking about like some of my top tips and the things that I have, you know, that really stand out to me as the big learnings that I have. So I'm just going to go through those real quick with you. The first one is that today can be your fresh start. I don't know about you, but I get busy in life. I miss a couple workouts, and the old me would have just like checked out and just said, or I don't do my, you know, vital behaviors and invite somebody. The old me would have just scrapped it and said, I'm not good enough. You know, I'm failing. I'm just going to walk away from it because I can't. But the me today is willing to pick back up where I am, no matter how hard it is, and start over and regain that momentum and keep pushing forward, because I have goals, I have a vision, and I, by God, am going to achieve that. The next one is once I got over my fear of failing, I actually started succeeding. It's so amazing how much the idea of somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's vision of you, or impression of you can hold you back. Who cares? Who cares what they think? If they're looking at you through their filter and they're seeing something bad, then they're really not looking at the real you, because you're just trying to better yourself, help others be motivated, and help others succeed in gaining the freedoms and the goals that they have for their lives. So once I stopped that, I definitely saw a huge increase in my ability to communicate with people, relate with people, and actually build something for me. Sharing your story. So it's so easy to just snap a sweaty selfie and just be like, got my workout done. Well, people don't relate with that. They're like, oh, rah, rah for you. But if you really tell them, it was hard for me today, or it was, you know, I'm super excited because I did this today. I overcame a barrier that I thought I never would. If you share that story and you share your life and you get intimate with people, they start relating with you and they start actually connecting with you. So sharing that story, I was very open with my pregnancy. I shared a lot. A lot of people looked at it and were like, oh my gosh, she's sharing a lot. But for me, I just looked at it as it's my blog. You know, a lot of people share a lot of stuff on their blogs, and I'm just sharing little bits of a blog every day. And that's, it's my story. And so if anybody else has a problem with it, they don't have to watch it. It's kind of how I looked at it. I mentioned earlier that the goals and the vision and the importance of those, but keeping those vibrant and alive every day when you wake up, thinking about that vision, actually physically feeling it. Like I have my, my little, I'll show you. I made this for my husband and I. This is our vision statement. And I had them printed off at Shutterfly. I did like PicMonkey or something and made JPEGs of them. But I have this next to our bathroom sink. And so every day when I'm brushing my teeth for that 2 minutes, I'm just reading it over and over and over. And then same thing at night, I just read it over and over and over. And it keeps me connected with that. And it reminds me of why I'm doing this hard work, especially on those hard days, because there are hard days, but they're just days. And this is my life right here. So if I can stay connected to that, it makes it so much easier. And if you can connect to it, then feel it like viscerally, like every emotion, every like breeze on your skin of you being on the patio, enjoying lunch at noon and not worrying about your boss knocking on the door and saying, where are you? Why aren't you at this meeting? You know, you have control, you have that freedom. That for me is where I connect. This is one of my favorite quotes, and that's go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you have imagined. And that's been one I've had in my world. Yeah. It's been on my bulletin boards at work. It's been in my world since the day that I took my first business, or like my first real office position. And that's because I knew that I was always destined for something bigger than I had today. And it wasn't until this opportunity presented itself that I found that there is actually something you can build and work towards that will help you build those dreams and make them come true if you're willing to do the work. So that's my story. Those were my tips. I do have a like page if you guys want to follow me just for ideas. It is helpful. I've found to see what other people are posting, but I encourage you to be your own voice. I encourage you to share your own story and be your own character in this play. I also have an email there. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. It's always good to have multiple options of perspective, and so feel free to always reach out to me and ask questions if you have them. That's the story.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your story. There was so much I didn't know about your story, so I was excited to hear it for sure. I have to say that Jamie's going to be one of the leaders that's in our Push to Diamond group next month. So if you guys want more from her, you guys better get in that group. This stuff is amazing. And I think my favorite thing that you talked about was who cares? And the funniest thing for me is that my 5-year-old, or soon to be 5-year-old, that's his new favorite phrase. So I was laughing when you said that. He just cares. But it's so true, because that held me back for so long in my business, because I was so worried about what people thought about me posting over and over. And then once I gave that away, it all started, to spiral. But I do have one question.
Shoot.
Did you, I think I know this, but I'm not quite sure. Didn't you go diamond while you were pregnant?
I didn't. I went diamond when he was 3 months old.
Oh, that's still.
Yeah. So I pushed really hard.
That's even better.
And I was working full time again. So yeah, it was a challenge for sure. But, just being consistent, doing my power hours, focusing the energy where it needed to be, that was for me the trigger for my business. And I know Sam and Ashley have talked to you a lot about it, but for me, the real win was encouraging people to go to the discount option when they were purchasing their challenge packs, and then working with them and encouraging them to explore the business opportunity after they were in the challenge groups. So I know that's not always encouraged because it's not a really steady foundation, but that is a great way to get people kind of over that fear of exploring the business. Because I think that a lot of people don't realize that it's even an option. And when they hear that it's an option and they see you doing it and they realize that they can do it too, and it's not as scary as they may have built it up in their head, that's when they start really looking at it. So,
can I say something?
Yeah.
Hear me? I really like the part where you said something about where just get your fear, or get over your fear over failure. And I think that being just starting this past, I think Monday, it's all very new and very scary. So it's always like, what people think of you doing something new. And it's so true what you said. Don't worry about that, or you're not going to succeed. Mm-hmm. And I actually just shared my story on Facebook, and that was huge because I felt very vulnerable. And I'm sure anytime you put something out there, that's like the first feeling you have, is just feeling vulnerable and people judging. But once I did it, it felt good. And I actually had quite a few people reach out to me and shared their story. And it was just nice to be able for them to trust me and be vulnerable with me as well. So that was really neat that you were able to say, just get over your fear of failure, because I won't succeed if I constantly worry about that. So thanks for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. And congratulations on actually sharing your story. It is scary. I'm always the girl that's just hit.
I was pacing back and forth, thinking. I was I was talking myself out of it, and I said, stop it. I spent 10 minutes talking. I'm worth that 10 minutes for someone else to hear and hopefully make a difference.
I always figure if one person hears it and it connects with one person, that's all that matters. So
Thank you.
and those people that don't want to hear it, they can unfollow me is honestly my opinion. You know, if they don't want to hear my story and they don't want to be, it's so funny because so many people always post about how negative Facebook feeds are and how they can't believe that they, you know, I'm going to sign off Facebook because of all this negativity. I'm like, I don't see that. You know, all I see are happy people like posting good things and talking about working out and being excited about life and their dreams. And so it's all in what you surround yourself with. If people don't want to see it, then they aren't ready for it yet.
I was going to ask you one other thing too. Do you have any like books that you recommend that you feel like helped you get to where you are right now?
Yeah, honestly, the first book that I read that really I connected with was The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. That was a great book. And then as far as like building my business and becoming a confident entrepreneur was You Are a Badass. And that it's an easy read. It's a good read. And she really does kind of bring so many different theories and different perspectives of kind of self-development into her book. And I loved how concise she was in sharing her words of wisdom there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go. Go ahead. I kept saying for it. Okay, go ahead.
It's cool. I don't care. So I didn't have any questions to ask. I'm sitting here like trying to think of what I could ask. I just don't have anything tonight. But I did want to say that I love the idea of you and your husband putting together your mission statement and writing out your guys for your mission. It's late. Your mission statement for your family, and then putting it up in your bathroom, like, and reading it. Like, I'm all about the goals in the bathroom, but we quit doing that. And so I like the mission statement so much better because I hear this over and over in all the personal development that we do to get really clear on your vision and start your day with your vision, end your day with your vision. And that's what's going to get you through. And that is such a great way to have a reminder for that. So thank you so much for that idea.
You bet. You bet.
All right.
I have one last thing I wanted to share. So while I was pregnant, just because a lot of people do get this question, I did drink Shakeology all through my pregnancy. And that is a fantastic supplement for pregnant women because your body is changing and the hormones are going crazy, and it's quick and it's easy. I will say, make sure if you recommend it to women, they talk to their doctors first. This regular version, if they're going to drink it, has all the vitamins they need, but the vegan version does not. So they definitely need to talk to their OBs about what they may need to supplement if they are going to drink it. My OB did not have any issue with it. She gave me the sign off on it, and I drank it all through my pregnancy. Also postpartum breastfeeding. It's fantastic for breastfeeders because it's fast and it gives you the vitamins that your body's being depleted of while you're nursing. So I just wanted to give that little plug because a lot of people always ask that question.
I'm so glad you gave that plug because we always get that all the time. So
yes,
thank you so much for jumping on. We really, really appreciate it. And
you bet.
Well, we will see you all on the boards, and hopefully everyone will get into the diamond group, and we'll see you all there. So
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.